the pack, running with the pack, never looking back. All right, Krazy Red. Somewhere in America, this is the Krazy Red Krash report for, I don't even know what day it is, July 15, 14, 15, I don't even know. Anyway, I'm in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. Here, I'll show you. There's the new bar, the Saloon, downtown Stroudsburg. Krazy Red. As some of you may have noticed, I'm driving a vehicle, which I've never done one of these driving videos before. I think they're ridiculous, to be honest with you. But life right now is pretty ridiculous, so why not join the fun? And so it's basically my last Krash report video, I think, for a while. And that's it, really. I just kind of wanted to tune in real quick, show off the new wheels, let people know where I'm at. Let's see, what have I been up to? Been gigging, playing gigs, mostly just open mics and stuff, but I have been getting up playing on stage again, and it sounds good. It sounds real good. In fact, they worked me last night over at Sarah Street during the open mic. They gave me like 5 or 6 songs, and then they had this girl come up and sing. It was real good too, but it was kind of a quiet night. So yeah, we're back in that respect. We're playing music. We're back in the Berg. I went out and saw one of my kids the other day, my son Devlin, my middle boy, baby mama drama number 2. That's all I'm going to say about that, other than it was good to see him, and I'm going to try to see more of him in the future. And that goes for all my kids. If I can somehow connect with them at this stage of my life, it's worth doing, because I'm not getting any younger, and I'm still sober, so I don't drink alcohol anymore, except for maybe the occasional kombucha, but that's about as strong of a brew as I'll let myself have. And it took me 3 years just to let myself indulge in that, which really doesn't have really any alcohol in it, so I consider myself still, you know, sober in that respect. California sober, at least. And I might go all the way sober. I don't know. The weed has been helping me with the pain a lot. But I noticed I was having trouble getting up on stage. I was a little nervous about it at first, so I cut back on the weed, and then I kind of got bored. That kind of gave me the, all right, so, you know, or maybe I just need to switch up to sativa. Let's see what else is going on. Truth is, there's stuff going on, but I don't feel the need to broadcast it anymore to the world. And there's really not much in it for me anyway. I get a little bit of money out of YouTube videos, but it's nothing compared to what it used to be. And I'm kind of tired of hearing myself talk. You know what I mean? I've done enough of it, and I see it now. Like today, some girl got out of the car and was talking to her phone and she fixing her hair, and I wanted to make a smart ass comment about putting lipstick on a pig, but I kept my mouth shut because you know, it's I guess narcissism now is just a learning curve for everybody, thanks to social media. You know, falls in love with his own reflection and drowns in the river because he's so in love with himself and his own reflection. He doesn't know anything else. And by that standard, I think it's safe to say that anybody who's obsessed with their social media and their social media appearance is getting into some narcissistic behavior. So I don't really think it's like, oh, this person's a narcissist and that person's an empath. And I think it's really more of a learning curve for the majority of people out there. And not to say that there aren't sociopaths out there and psychopaths out there who are total narcissists, okay? But I think to be a psychopath, you kind of be a narcissist. But it doesn't mean you can't be a narcissistic asshole in love with yourself, taking selfies and doing videos, and it still just be like a phase that you go through in life. You know what I mean? I don't think it condemns this person's soul or anything like that, unless of course they just never, you know, they never see past it. And you know, I was thinking about that today when I was walking around my hometown, because I'm seeing other people do it. I'm seeing young people taking videos of themselves and making content for their social media, and I'm like, part of me wants to kind of laugh at it and point it out, and another part of me is like, but dude, that was you. That was totally you. And another thing is, there was this article I read about the Rainbow Gathering, which I thought about going to because it's actually in the state I'm living in right now. But my van wasn't ready, and I heard the majority of people moved on after the weekend, after the 4th of July weekend, so I stayed home. And now we got all the smoke from Canada fogging everything up, which I don't know if you can notice that from the camera or not, but it's really foggy, but it's smoke from the fire, which I don't even know where the fire is, to tell you the truth. I'm too busy worried about whether I'm a narcissist or not to even bother to look up where the fire's at. But anyway, this kid got arrested after doing a live stream of the gathering as it was getting set up, and it kind of made me think about my time in the Valley and how I became, at first it was just like a joke, and then it turned into a hobby, and then it became like a moneymaker, and then it became like an obsession, like, oh my god, I have to keep making content, to keep making money, and keep, you know, and then it led down some roads that I might not even have ever have taken hadn't that carrot been put in front of me. But like a donkey, I followed that carrot, and what can I say? You know, as they say, the proof is in the pudding, and the proof is there. I definitely became obsessed with sort of making content for social media, for my YouTube. But I did get branded, I got paid, I made a lot of money in the beginning, whereas now there's like little to no money to be made. And now it's more of a hobby, and in some ways it's just a way of keeping a record. My art, my music, but it's not the soapbox or mouthpiece that it used to be, because I'll be honest with you, there's shit I just don't talk about anymore on social media, and things like I won't even bother to tell you what those things are or label them in any way. Let's just say Red smartened up and realized it's probably not a good idea to just fucking run his mouth and post shit all the fucking time on social media. You know what I mean? And I wish I had just kind of gotten to that conclusion sooner in life, because then maybe it would have saved me from some stuff I had to go through later. You know, later on after I started my channel. Because this kid who got arrested, they're saying he was targeted, you know, because of his live streaming at the gathering. And I think, yeah, that's absolutely true, especially Pennsylvania. The governor is going to get his money, and if you don't think they're paying attention or they're not watching you, you're wrong. They fucking are. And they'll even admit it because of the Patriot Act and stuff like that. You don't have any rights or privacy if you publish shit on social media. Okay? I'm trying to hide my fucking belly, but that's just the truth of it. You know what I mean? That's the truth of it. If you're posting anything on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, whatever it is, it can and will be used against you in a court of law should it be necessary to convict you of a crime that you've been suspected of. And all they have to do is get a judge to look at the footage and decide whether it's worthy or not to put out a warrant. And that's exactly how it works. It's what happened in Pennsylvania with that kid on the Rainbow Gathering. And so, and they impounded his shit and tore it apart. Now they're saying they found books, and what I believe is probably going to turn out to be like LSD, or something like that of that nature. They're going to say, well, we suspected this was LSD, and whether it turns out to be or not to be remains to be seen, whatever. But I mean, what they charged him with they found probably like residue of marijuana, a small amount of marijuana. But then they claimed after tearing the entire vehicle apart that they found some other shit, which they believe is a controlled substance, and they believe they found books. Like this hippie was so into his wheeling and dealing that he actually had like written down shit and had a book like where he was doing his calculus in or some bullshit. But once again, I would love to see the evidence in that situation. I'm even tempted to find out what's up with this kid, see if he needs legal counsel, you know, but I should just keep my mouth shut. But so that's funny. I'm making the video because all this social media stuff it's kind of on my mind right now because of some of the stuff that I've been picking up myself on. And I'll be honest with you, I don't talk about like you know what I'm saying? I don't want my music, my art, my videos to all just disappear because I got anger management issues or something, you know what I mean? So I just learned to shut the fuck up. I watch more now. I'm more of a voyeurist when it comes to content. I love some of the AI shit they put out there. It's fucking hysterical, but I sincerely believe that some of the stuff that they put out there now is branded already. Like they pushed the Bigfoot thing for a while because there was a company that was making bank on that software, and so they were pushing that shit out there. There's other stuff that gets pushed out there depending on who you are, what your age group is. Definitely like trying to entrap people. I've seen that. I've noticed that. That nudity and brief nudity is still making its way past the censors, especially when it comes to advertising, and yet I can't use certain language, certain words without, or you know what I mean? It's like how they can go through all my shit because I said the wrong thing and find a post from like 7 years ago and be like, oh, that violated our community standards the minute I say the wrong thing. But every day I try to scroll my reels and I get blasted with Disney porn. You know what I mean? They can't flag that shit right away. So I don't know. It's just ridiculous to tell you the truth. What's going on these days, but that's part of the reason why I'm old Red now. I'm the ghost of Krazy Red. I'm gonna have to start a new channel or a new playlist or a new vibe called the ghost of Krazy Red, because Krazy Red got killed in an accident back in Mississippi, and I don't know what he did. Maybe deal with the devil down there at the crossroads or some shit, but he got a second chance. But it really feels like I told somebody in my family the other day, kind of thought this a few times. I wondered if I died in the accident, and this is like the afterlife, this is hell, or some shit, or this is penance, purgatory, because the old me would have immediately gone to the bar and probably already be in Key West or something like that, you know what I mean? Blowing through the money the insurance company gave me, which is not a lot, by the way. It was enough to buy a van, buy a couple guitars, maybe buy some concert tickets, buy some airplane tickets, but not enough to live on for the rest of my life. It's enough to buy some nice toys, take a nice vacation or two, and then it's enough to get me set up somewhere when I'm ready to really put my nose back to the grindstone. But other than that, it's not a retirement fund, you know what I mean? And I'm not going to say how much it was and how much it wasn't. I'm not going to talk about that. Just know right now I'm kind of flush financially, but that's only because of the accident, and it's definitely not the kind of money that lasts forever. It's the kind of money that give you rich people problems for a hot minute, and then you're gonna have to figure out something. I'm just being real with you about that. So I'm really just using it how I would have used it before the accident when I was trying to fix, so focusing on my family now, focusing on my kids that talk to me. I got kids that talk to me, and I got kids that don't talk to me. So I'm sticking with the ones who do talk to me, at least, hoping maybe the other ones will see that and maybe get curious, but if they don't, I can't really do much about it. But and they all got different moms, so I got 3 baby mama dramas. That's a lot of karma to try to fix with what I got. You know what I mean? So I figure I start off with the ones that are at least looking for help and are interested in getting to know their dad. And yet at the same time, I'm not holding it against the ones that don't. And that's another thing, like my brother said, you seem like you've changed. And I guess the main thing is to get through what happened to me, I had to stay positive. I had to stay focused on positivity. Not to sound like some of those hippies that I used to hate when I lived in the woods with. But I had to really put it down. I really had to put it into practice by being positive and not letting myself be dragged into negative thoughts. And I had to just remember that every day was one more day left to fight, to struggle, to get up, to keep, because I couldn't walk. They wanted to stick tubes up my dick and even let me get out of bed to pee, and I got up and was like, fuck you, I'm getting up. You know what I mean? And I had to fight for my survival down there in Mississippi. They were not nice to me in those hospitals, and I don't want, like I said, I can't talk a lot about the accident because it's a lot of stuff that just, especially with today's political environment, it's not going to. But let's just say, don't go if you're smart, you won't go bicycle riding in Mississippi. Especially if you're a white boy. And that's all I'll say about that. For now. Some things I think I'll just save for the book. Because once that's in print, they're going to have to burn it. You know what I mean? And that's my other thing about this whole social media thing. I don't trust social media. I don't trust ChatGPT. I don't trust Facebook. I didn't buy into COVID. I never really bought into 9/11 either, man. I don't trust the system enough to do anything but write my book longhand first and then take it to a publisher and hope it gets put in print, and then hope that they like it enough to put it out in print enough that it's going to get picked up. It's going to be on racks, bookstores, whatever. But the whole medium is dead too, so it's like you're trying to write a book in today's society, you're fucking wasting your time, probably. Especially since anybody can get a book printed, you know what I mean? So the hard part is getting the book read. That's what I've always been told, and that's what I still believe. But anyway, that's it, man. For those of you who watch because of the crystal skulls and all that shit, it's all gone. There's nothing here now. And I'm not wearing a cross either. I'm not, you know, because honestly, I'm a full-blown realist now. I don't subscribe to any religion or indoctrination, but I do believe that something's up, and our existence is really all the fucking proof we need. If you can't, if you're this and all this is not enough for you to believe that something's up, I don't fucking tell you. But the one thing I've learned over time, and at least in my experience, is there is this thing called karma. At least for me, there has definitely been way too many examples of it, and so, or maybe I just have dogma or whatever the fuck you call it, which is another reason why I believe that as long as you stay positive, even if it means forced optimism at times, and acceptance is key. Because in order to stay positive, really positive, you have to accept your situation. And if your situation is one where there's nothing you can do about it, then you have to find a way to sit with it and be okay with that. And I think that more than anything is what I learned from this whole experience with getting hit by a car and having to make this adjustment in my life in my 50s, and yet still somehow I landed on my feet like a cat, you know, 9 lives. But just like that Puss in Boots movie, I feel like this might be the last one. You know what I mean? Like, if I am a cat and I have 9 lives, I'm on life number 9. You know what I mean? And well, maybe I got one more. I don't know, but I'm not in any fucking hurry to find out because I lost count a while back. And anyway, I'm burning gas. I don't want these videos to drag on too long. And that's it. Krazy Red, Summer America. Krazy Red's Krash Report for July 15th, 16th. I don't know. Give away the days you were mine. I must have got lost. I must have got lost. I must have got lost.